Her words didn't just sting, they hollowed me out. The laughter that followed clattered in my ears like shards of glass, each giggle cutting deeper. I didn't argue, didn't shout. Instead, I carefully placed my fork on the table, folded my napkin, and swallowed the silence like medicine. That night I zipped one suitcase. By dawn, the house was up for sale. By the end of the week, it was gone. The account she leaned on, frozen. The support system she had always taken for granted, erased. And me, vanished without a goodbye. People think revenge is rage, screaming, slamming doors. It's not. Sometimes it's silence. Sometimes it's the patience of pulling each thread until the fabric collapses on its own. I grew up being the reliable one. Fixer. The one who carried the weight others pretended didn't exist. When Dad walked out, I became her stand-in partner, paying bills, handling paperwork, cooking dinners. To her friends, she joked, "She's more like my little husband than my daughter." They laughed. I didn't. My sister. She was the star. Reckless, spoiled, forgiven at every turn. When she failed, I picked up the pieces. When she fell, I carried her. Mom let her shine, while I stood in the shadows, unnoticed. I knew the truth years ago. The way Mom's smile tightened whenever I succeeded. When I bought the house, she said, "Too much for you." When I was promoted, she muttered, "Don't get arrogant." I told myself she loved me. Until her birthday. Until that toast. "The best gift is you leaving my life." My sister's laugh ringing the loudest. That night I stopped being their safety net. No drama. No theatrics. Just cold, methodical choices. The house. In my name alone. Sold in a heartbeat. The joint savings. Closed. The automatic payments she depended on. Cancelled. The next week, her world was collapsing. Unpaid bills, rejected drafts, creditors calling. Meanwhile, I rented a quiet apartment 2 towns away. Bare walls, empty fridge, but finally, peace. Then came the calls. Unknown numbers. Desperate voicemails. At first, pleading. "Where are you? This isn't funny." Then panicked. "Your sister can't pay the mortgage. I told her you'd help." Finally, venomous. "You think you can just abandon family? You'll regret this." I listened in silence. Expressionless. Every word proving what I already knew. I was never a daughter, only a crutch. The real revenge wasn't money. It was the mirror I held up. Without me, my sister's debts drowned her. Mom's image of control shattered under overdue notices. Everything they built leaned on me. When I stepped away, the scaffolding collapsed. 3 months later, I saw her by accident in a grocery store aisle. She looked thinner, older, her pride shattered into wrinkles around her eyes. When she saw me, she froze. Her voice was tiny. "Where have you been?" I glanced at her basket. Milk, bread, clipped coupons. Survival shopping. Not the woman who once raised a glass and mocked me. I didn't answer. Just tilted my head, calm, unreadable. Her lips trembled. We can fix this." "Talk." "Fix this." I almost laughed. Nothing was broken. The truth had just been revealed. I stepped past her without a word. No rage, no tears. Just the quiet freedom of someone who no longer needed to explain. That night, alone in my apartment, I poured a drink. For the first time in years, the silence was comforting. I thought back to that birthday table. Her smirk, my sister's laughter, the clinking glasses celebrating my absence. They believed they erased me. But in reality, I granted their wish. I left, and with me went the roof over their heads, the money in their accounts, the invisible work that kept their world upright. Revenge isn't destruction. It's absence. It's letting someone choke on the emptiness they carved for themselves. And that night I realized I had finally given my mother the best gift she ever asked for.